Hey there folks, Tim Slade here from the eLearning Designers Academy. In today's video, I'm going to share with you step by step how to become an eLearning designer. So stick around. I've been working in the field of e-learning, instructional design, and learning and development for almost 15 years now. And if there's one thing that I know to be true, it's that there's more demand than ever for folks looking to get into our industry than I think I've ever seen before. I mean, just for context, when I fell into this industry by accident, and I quite literally mean that by accident, I used to catch shoplifters for a living. It's a long story, but when I fell into this industry, I had no idea what instructional design was, and the truth is, vast majority of the people working alongside me also fell into it by accident as well. The fact of the matter is, it just wasn't something that a lot of folks intentionally strive to get into. For most folks, like myself, they were good at something, like catching shoplifters in my case, and then they were tasked with creating training to help others do that same thing. But nowadays, a lot of that has changed. While a lot of folks still fall into this industry by accident, there are a lot more people who are intentionally looking to make the transition or leap into e-learning or instructional design from outside our industry. So if you're watching this, I imagine you're one of those people looking to become an e-learning designer or maybe an instructional designer, and you're asking yourself, how can I do that? Well, good news is I've boiled it down to 5 important steps you need to follow. And as I cover each of these, make sure to check out the links down in the description for additional resources that go into a lot more detail on all of the stuff I'm going to outline today. So let's get started. So the first step for becoming an e-learning designer is to understand what e-learning designers actually do in the first place. The funny thing about our industry is that in the world of e-learning and instructional design, there aren't really any set standards for what the role of an e-learning designer or even an instructional designer does on a day-to-day basis. Because the truth is, you could look at 10 different job descriptions, each with the same job title, and find that they are nothing alike. And what's even more perplexing is that you could look at 10 different job descriptions, each with different job titles, and discover that they're all very similar. My point is, whether you call yourself an e-learning designer, an instructional designer, a learning experience designer, or even just a learning professional in general, any particular job may or may not have a consistent set of responsibilities. Now, with that all being said, most e-learning designers focus on creating instructionally sound, visually engaging, and interactive digital training content using tools like Articulate Storyline, Rise, Captivate, Camtasia, and any number of other tools beyond that. And along those lines, this may also include creating other forms of digital multimedia like how-to videos, digital job aids, podcasts, or just about any other type of content that may be delivered and consumed on some sort of digital device or computer. All right, so now that we have a common understanding of what it is that e-learning designers actually do on a day-to-day basis, the second step you need to focus on for becoming an e-learning designer is building your skills. The truth is, as I think about all of the different roles that exist in the world of learning and development, there's no role that requires a more diverse set of skills than that of an e-learning designer, in my opinion. And if you're looking to land a job as an e-learning designer, or maybe you want to get into freelancing as an e-learning designer, the thing that hiring managers and clients want from you are tangible skills. And yeah, years of experience, formal education, or other credentials will always have some level of importance, but at the end of the day, if there's one thing that all hiring managers and clients are looking for, it's that you can do the things they need you to do right now. So what are those skills? Well, like I said, e-learning designers do a lot of different things when creating digital learning content, but there are some specific ones that you should be focusing on. So the first set of skills you need to focus on developing are your instructional design skills. And this means understanding how to apply adult learning theories, how to conduct a proper needs analysis, how to follow various design and development models like ADDIE and SAM, and how to recommend and design training solutions that ultimately help your learners do things differently or better on the job and help your organization or client achieve its goals. Now, from there, you also want to focus on your project management skills. This means knowing how to collaborate with your stakeholders and subject matter experts to scope your projects, how to conduct a project kickoff meeting, manage timelines, conduct review cycles, and implement the e-learning or other training solutions you may create. Next, you want to learn about storyboarding. Whether you're creating an interactive e-learning course or a how-to video, a storyboard is the tool that e-learning designers use to organize and draft and plan all of the content that will be included in the course before they begin creating it. Now, I often like to think of a storyboard as being like a blueprint for a house. It lays out everything and helps somebody understand what they're going to build before they build it. And of course, from there, you actually have to learn how to design and develop your courses using one or more e-learning authoring tools. And tools like Articulate Storyline, Rise, or Captivate are all popular tools for creating interactive e-learning. And tools like Camtasia are great for creating video-based content. And then, of course, there are a whole bunch of other tools beyond that, like Adobe Illustrator or Photoshop, which you may use to create graphics or other assets for your courses. And finally, you also want to focus on building your visual design skills. Whether it's an interactive course or a how-to video, all e-learning has some sort of visual component to it. And so you want to know how to combine and use different fonts, colors, images, graphics, and even animations to not only help your courses look visually appealing, but also to help the effectiveness of your content. Okay, so once you understand what e-learning designers do, and once you've started working to build your skills as an e-learning designer, the next thing you want to focus on is building your portfolio. As I mentioned earlier, hiring managers and clients want to know that you can actually do the things that they need you to do on the job. And in order to do that, you need to build your skills, which is what we just covered. But it's not enough to just build your skills. You also need to show evidence of your skills. And the best way to do that is by building a portfolio. Now, if you're brand new to e-learning, you might be thinking, well, Tim, how can I build a portfolio of my work as an e-learning designer if I don't actually have any experience as an e-learning designer? Yeah, well, that's a totally valid question, and I know it's a paradox that a lot of folks find themselves in. But my best advice is to apply the skills you've been working to build and create your own sample projects that you can then showcase in your portfolio. Because here's the truth. You can pick any topic you want and design a course on it, and any good hiring manager or client can evaluate your instructional design skills, your technical skills, your visual design skills, and all the other skills that I mentioned earlier by what you create. Now, once you've built your skills and created a portfolio, the fourth step you want to focus on is building your online presence and start marketing yourself as an e-learning designer. Now, the truth is, there's no single way to do this, but the best place to start is by optimizing your profile on LinkedIn. And if you're not on LinkedIn, you got to get on LinkedIn, because hiring managers, recruiters, and clients, they aren't going to find you lurking on Facebook or Twitter. They're going to go look for you on LinkedIn. So if you're not there, you need to be there. And so what you want to do is make sure you have a profile that includes a high quality photo of yourself, along with a banner image that showcases your personality and ideally aligns visually with the look and feel of your portfolio. And of course, you want to carefully write a headline and a summary that uses keywords related to the types of e-learning or instructional design jobs you're looking to be hired for. And while we're talking about LinkedIn, you also want to focus on connecting and networking with others who are already working in the field of e-learning and instructional design. My point is, the more you start to represent yourself online as an e-learning designer or as an instructional designer, the more people will start to recognize you as one. All right, so we talked about what e-learning designers do on a day-to-day basis. We talked about what skills you should focus on. We talked about building your portfolio, and we talked about marketing yourself as an e-learning designer. Once you've done all of that, you'll be ready for my fifth and final step for becoming an e-learning designer, which is to start looking for and applying for jobs. Now, this one might seem self-explanatory, but what I really want to emphasize here is that there's a lot of work that you need to do before you start applying for jobs. And if you're completely brand new to this industry, it doesn't mean that hiring managers or clients aren't willing to take a risk on you. They are. But what you need to be able to demonstrate is that you've actually done the work to prepare yourself for a job as an e-learning designer or an instructional designer. So whether you use LinkedIn, Glassdoor, or any other number of job websites, you want to look for jobs and postings that are aligned for where your skills and experience is right now. What you don't want to do is land a job where the expectations are way higher than what you're really ready for, because then you're just setting yourself up for failure. So look for and start applying for jobs that meet where you are right now, and then hopefully you'll be able to land a job that will enable you to continue growing in the future. All right, so those are my 5 steps for how to become an e-learning designer. And as I mentioned at the top of the video, make sure to check out the links down in the description for additional resources on each of these steps. And of course, this all leads me to my question of the day. What other tips or questions do you have about becoming an e-learning designer or an instructional designer? Share your thoughts, questions, or tips by commenting below. As always, I want to thank you so much for watching. Make sure, if you haven't done so already, to click that like, subscribe, and that bell button so that you'll get alerted the next time I publish a video like this one. And of course, make sure to join me inside the e-learning designers community where you can connect and learn from others who are also growing their e-learning skills and careers. My name is Tim Slade, and until next time, I'll see you around.